Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the farm. Today, there is another project going on back here in the barn. Dad has come over, like always, and we are going to put together a heat reflector out of this piece of galvanized sheet metal that we're going to put behind my pellet stove. Now, this is by no means something that needs to happen. This is not something that's required for one of these pellet stoves. Actually, I went a little bit overkill with my tolerances. There only needed to be a 3-inch space behind here and any flammable surfaces, aka the wall, and I went 4 inches, so I'm actually outside on the good side of the allowable tolerances for this stove are. So this is just as much going to be decorative as it's going to be functional. So we're going to cut a piece of it down. We'll use some like J-channel flashing, get it framed in all nice over there. But it will provide another layer of security were something with the stove to ever malfunction. The stove's been up and running full go for a couple of hours now this morning. You see it's screaming hot, and there is no heat back here on the wall. I mean, it's not even warm to the touch. This metal shroud, any of the wood, even the back of the unit, it's not even warm to the touch. But this will offer another layer of security, and it's going to look pretty sweet. Okay, then for our trim piece, what we're going to do is we've got it measured for our length for this side, and we can just make 2 cuts on our mark here. Here. And here. And then we should be able to fold and have a nice right angle. So now to accommodate for the thimble going out the wall here, we made a couple of marks here and here, and we're going to cut a little box out so we can get further down the wall and get behind the stove. So just got a few screws shot into it to hold it up. And this one's all wrapped up. And one last time, just to reiterate, if you do your install on your pellet stove to the specifications of your stove, this is an unnecessary step. For me, it's just a little bit of an insurance policy, a little bit more peace of mind for when the stove is running, when I'm not back here, and I think it looks pretty sweet. Now over here on the other side of the barn where the maple syrup boiler is, We have also accounted for the tolerance that's supposed to be here for a real wood burner. It's supposed to be 3 feet off of the wall, and we are a little bit more than 3 feet off of this wall. But unlike the pellet stove, the back of this will throw some real heat off of it. So while this is also probably unnecessary, it's just another little bit of a insurance policy, a little bit more peace of mind. This really will throw some real heat off towards this wall. We are past that 3 foot allowable tolerance. Having a hard time saying that today. So we should be safe. We are safe. Let me quit saying should be. We are safe. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to put up a couple more pieces over here to act as both a reflector and a heat dissipator. So what we're doing to get started on this side is we took our channel and we went ahead and screwed it to the wall flat, because we're going to be using a much bigger piece on this side, so it's going to be a lot harder to wrangle. So now we have something that we can set it in. Now what we're doing is we're nailing up some pieces of concrete board that are going to space between our galvanized sheet panel and the wall, to space it out from the wall a little bit. So what that gap is going to allow is it's going to allow for the ridges in the paneling. Holding it out from the wall a little bit, we'll get the reflective properties of the metal, kicking some of it back. But if and when it does heat up, we will have airspace in these channels behind it, that the hot air will be able to work its way up out of the channels in our sheeting, and the hot air behind it, because of our concrete backer boards, will not be heating up our OSB, that is the walls in here. So we got our 4 pieces of concrete board nailed up. Sorry, there's so much going on in here, it's hard to get it all in frame. So again, we will have reflective heat coming off the face, and then we're up against this non-flammable surface in the concrete board. So there'll be reflective, the metal, then there'll be an air gap in between the concrete board and the ribbed metal sheeting, and then there's another air gap between the concrete board, or an even larger air gap between the 2 pieces of concrete board. So we ran screws all the way up our seam to get our seam zipped shut. We're cutting the last little piece of the J-channel trim / flashing to go on this side. And we'll be in business. And so now this one is wrapped up too. Got the trim installed all the way around. We're nice and affixed to the wall. Made sure when I put my screws in that we did not grab and suck it into the wall, because we want to leave that air gap. That's what's going to allow for the heat, the warm air to run behind and run out of the top. Well guys, I hope you got something from that video. If you have any questions about what we did or why we did something, or you think that we did something wrong and we should have done it different, I'd love to hear about it down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, think about hitting that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and until next time y'all, we'll see you.